Stemmerman and others are petitioning to get in the ballot. So how does that work exactly? With us today is Neil Vigdor of the Hartford Courant, who's been on the program before. And first of all, welcome to the Hartford Courant. I know that that was a new job for you last year, and first time we've had you on since you jumped.
Thanks, Dennis. Great to be with you.
I want to ask you a little bit about this because this is a tedious process to get signatures, and you do need a big team of people, and you need to go all across the state. How does it work exactly?
So not a lot of people have had success with this. Only one other candidate previously has been able to petition their way into the primary. That was Peter Schiff in 2010 when he got into the Senate primary and lost to Linda McMahon. So the way it works for Republicans need just over 9,000 signatures. That's about 2% of registered party members statewide. Democrats, it's about 15,500. And the way it works is that there's basically a 6-week period where these candidates can be out canvassing, circulating their petitions. It's a very Byzantine process. Your canvassers have to be, if you're a Republican, they have to be a registered Republican, a resident of the state of Connecticut. And you have to have separate sheets if you're getting names from people from different cities and towns. So if you go outside your local Stop and Shop and you get somebody from Hartford and somebody from Rocky Hill, those names have to be submitted on different sheets, which then go to the registrars of voters of those particular cities and towns.
And do they turn them in as they go, or do they wait till they have what they believe to be enough and then turn them all in?
I think it varies by campaign. And what I know is the canvassers also have to attest that all these signatures are valid, and they have to do that in front of a notary public or a justice of the peace or an attorney or town clerk. So it is made in such a way that it is not easy to get onto the primary ballot.
And some are thrown out, correct? So that's why they always say, the candidates say, I need more than that amount.
Well, we saw one quote that one firm that specializes in this was quoting a candidate, $23.75 a signature, $475,000 to get 20,000 signatures when they needed 9,000.
And some of them are doing it for different reasons. Obviously, Joe Ganim went the convention route, but he was not successful there. He got, what, 12.5% or something like that?
13%.
And, you know, David Stemmerman decided not to do it at all. And so this is their only way to get on the ballot. And we're talking about 5 people now. We have Ganim and Guy Smith for the Democrats, correct?
Yes.
And then the Republicans, we have Mark
Loretti, Stemmerman, and Stefanowski.
What are you hearing? How's it going for them so far?
I think that these candidates have learned from past failures that they need to start right away as soon as the petitions become available. And there were cases in the past where people were not starting until after the convention, where people were waiting until after the Memorial Day weekend, and then you're left to scramble for 2 weeks to try to get these thousands of signatures.
Before everybody leaves. And you need them in by June 12th. Joe Ganim is saying he has 20,000 right now. What do we know about that?
Well, he's expressed a high level of confidence that he's going to qualify for the August 14th primary against Ned Lamont. No one else besides Lamont came out of the convention on the primary ballot. I would think that Ganim knows that his signatures are going to be scrutinized, and so he wants to have a buffer, and he is highly confident that he's going to be there for this primary race.
So so they turn them in on by June 12th, correct?
Correct.
And then when do we find out whether it's official or not?
Well, the Secretary of the State's office has said that because of the record number of candidates this year, it could take up to 10 days for the tabulation and certification. So you could have a case where a Joe Ganim is not confirmed for the primary until almost the end of June.
Can they start early? In terms of certifying the...
No, I think that they always start after the June 12th date.
And this could impact some debates. I know we have 2 debates planned, and one is a Democratic debate on June 14th. We have a Republican debate on June 13th. And we did it that way because it's after June 12th, but it's not before everyone's gone, because the month of July, no one's around.
So just yesterday, I know that the Lamont campaign has said that they have committed to the June 14th debate that you're doing. And they said if Joe Ganim qualifies, we'll see him there. But that's only 2 days after he turns in the signatures. And so it's doubtful you'll give him Ned Lamont an infomercial for 30 minutes.
No, I don't think we'll go that route. And we'll have a meeting exactly how to work it. And I'm sure the two campaigns will have some discussions as to, how realistic the 20,000 is. But we're not hearing any problems with it right now.
No, but one thing I would definitely say is that those candidates, whether it be Ned Lamont or a Tim Herbst or Mark Bowden on the Republican side, it's certainly their prerogative to get in there and have lawyers and other people scrutinizing the signatures, and there could be potential challenges.
We've heard some potential problems with the Loretti campaign and the Stefanowski campaign in terms of signatures. Are you hearing that as well? That they're not going as strong as perhaps a Stemmerman or a Ganim?
I think there are a few professional outfits that do this. So you're reliant on perhaps college kids, others who want to make a few extra bucks during the summer, and it's very hard in terms of if you go to a supermarket, you don't know. A lot of times people don't know if they're registered. They may think they're registered as a Republican and they're unaffiliated. And so they would have to change their registration to be able to sign one of these petitions.
Are there places that are ripe for the picking in terms of signatures where people are more open to signing this signature?
Well, I think, again, one of the challenges is if you go to a public place, it's really just kind of casting a net.
Yeah.
And so some of these candidates, I know that the Stefanowski campaign, they are targeting particular neighborhoods and going door to door. I can think certainly down in my neck of the woods, New Canaan is the last Republican majority town in Connecticut where the majority of voters are Republican. So if I was a Republican, that would be kind of one of the first places I would look to go.
So we could see a 6-person race.
Correct.
On the Republican side, 3 on the Democrats. We haven't heard much about Guy Smith's campaign. He is not saying much about his signature process either.
He's confident. I spoke to him yesterday. He's the former Bill Clinton advisor from Greenwich, did not participate in the Democratic convention, said that it was rigged, but he said that he's on track to get his 15,500 signatures.
Good enough. All right, Neil Vigdor, you can read his columns in the Hartford Courant. We thank you so much for being on the program today.
Thanks,
and
Dennis.
Best of luck covering this crazy campaign this year with all the candidates.
Good to be with you.
A lot of faces. Good to see you. When we come back, our flashback will take you back 50 years ago this week when we were talking with Senator Abe Ribicoff about what should be done in the wake of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. We'll be right back, and we welcome your comments either on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram.